Welcome to conversation. Okay, we're not even disclaimer.
Are you a soursop farmer? Do you know anyone who is? If so, we have some exciting news to share with you. We need soursop urgently and are willing to pay $5 a pound. Yes, you heard correctly, $5 a pound. Just WhatsApp us at 1 646 651 0204 for more information on how to get your soursop sold for $5 per pound. This offer is for a limited time, so don't delay. Contact us today. Are you a soursop farmer? Do you know anyone who is? If so, we have some exciting news to share with you. We need soursop urgently and are willing to pay $5 a pound. Yes, you heard correctly, $5 a pound. Just WhatsApp us at 1 646 651 0204 for more information on how to get your soursop sold for $5 per pound. This offer is for a limited time, so don't delay. Contact us today.
Hello. I'm on the air now, so call me back. Kalistra,
Hi,
can you hear me? You're not going on? It's not.
I am hearing you, but I'm actually not on the screen. We still have the disclaimer. We still have the disclaimer up. So please change the picture.
No, but I put you up.
Okay, well, I'm actually not on my screen. Welcome to Conversation 473, everyone. It's a Friday evening in St. George's, Grenada. Rolanda is here, and I'm Calistra Faria on the program this evening. We are going to be talking about a variety of topics. We are expecting a guest on. Sorana Francis is coming on to talk to us about back to school. As we know, our students are returning to the classroom in some form and fashion on Monday, September 7th. The new school year, the Michaelmas term begins with the new school year. Also, we'll talk about some developments with the Mount Hartman Quarry, part of Grenada's national assets. Now, there is speculation and some very credible information that that is up for sale. The government is attempting to sell the quarry to Chinese interests. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. And of course, we've got, we'll focus a little bit on coronavirus and the need for safety during this time. On every program, we try to stress the need to continue to be safe on the because of the virus. So, Rolanda, how have things been going with you? So, we seem to be having some problems getting Rolanda up on the screen this evening, and still looking for our guest. So, on the front page of the New Today newspaper this weekend of the e-paper that is produced by the New Today newspaper, a story regarding the Mount Hartman quarry. Um, of course, information is that there's 50 years left in terms of mining the resources at the Mount Hartman quarry, and we are hearing now that the government is planning to sell it to some Chinese businessmen based in Hong Kong who have now expressed interest or who are now involved in continuing the 2.9 billion US dollars project at the Mount Hartman site, the Hartman Resort Development, it's called. And the deal seems to include the purchase of the quarry. No confirmation on this from government. Government has not made an announcement as recent as Tuesday when asked by Minister for Infrastructure Communication Works, Gregory Bowen, who the investors are, the new investors are who are involved in the Hartman development project. He said he didn't know, but information uh, broadcast sent out printed by the newspaper is that there was actually a meeting at the Ministry of Works regarding this. So whether the minister genuinely still by Tuesday did not know who the new investors are, or whether or not it was a diplomatic answer given the sensitive nature of the situation. One, because Charles Liu was involved, having been accused of fraudulently receiving millions of dollars from U.S. investors, claiming to intending to put the monies into the project at Mount Hartman, where he was supposed to develop a resort, wellness center, and yachting facilities. Whether or not the reluctance of the minister to say anything specific on that had to do with that situation, or whether or not the fact that the government, whether or not it is a fact that the government is trying to sell something as important as a national quarry that has another half a century's left of resources left in it to be mined. Certainly, the government is cash strapped, and one of the things, recently someone suggested that one of the options that the government has would be to cut the public service, and of course, cutting the public service has certain political and financial implications that come with it. Certainly, the government's Grenada cannot afford to make any major cuts in the public service. Once you're cutting people, you're going to have to pay them their benefits and send them off. It's going to cost the government millions to make any remarkable cut in the public service, as well as votes. You put somebody out of a job and they may not vote for you in the next election. So two very sensitive issues on cutting the public service. So then the next option left for the government, apart from grants, certainly loans are not a big option given our debt to GDP ratio, as well as our obligations under the structural adjustment program, the IMF structural adjustment program that Grenada remains under in some form or fashion. What's left, apart from grants, loans. What's left is the sale and cutting costs. What's left is the sale of our national assets. And in a conversation with someone earlier Friday, we were talking about, what's left to be sold, because we have sold a lot. We no longer have a utility companies to sell. Grenlec, for instance, the majority shareholder is WRB. They would certainly get a lion's share of whatever sale is happens with that company. So we have no public utilities to sell. Well, apart from Nawasa, and there was some talk that that was going to go into Chinese hands as well. I don't think the government would be that irresponsible as to put our water supply company into the hands of foreign investors. However, we don't really have much by way of national assets to sell, but certainly selling national assets is one option that the government can consider to get us out of the problems that we are in. Certainly not a comfortable decision, that the citizens should not look at this as a comfortable decision at all if it does come to that. But the Mount Hartman Quarry said to be up for sale, and it's a situation that Grenadians ought to pay attention to and to try to find out whether or not this is actually going to happen, to follow up and pay attention to your business. A lot of things have happened, a lot of decisions have been made in the name of the people that any responsible Grenadian who is thinking 50 years down the road would say, maybe we ought to have taken a different path on something like that. So, certainly we welcome development in the country. Foreign direct investment is an important part of economic development for countries around the world. It's nothing new. But how you engage investors, the policies that guide your engagement with foreign investors is critical for the country. You certainly cannot alienate your citizens by the actions that are taken and the privileges that you give to persons coming to do foreign direct investment in your country. You have to be very, very careful about that. Certain national assets ought not to leave the hands of the people because they are so sensitive and so important. And also it's a matter of pride as well. But the government down $182 million in revenue, having hung our hats on tourism and the St. George's University tourism, accounting for just over 77% of our GDP, and the St. George's University 25%. Both have disappeared in the blink of an eye. So we are certainly in a major economic crisis. The government is hoping that construction can create some small boost to the economy, but certainly the loss of tourism and HDU is something that we are going to feel way into the months ahead. Rolando, are we still having trouble getting you and our guests on the screen? In the meantime, can we run the other ad that we have, please?
It is time for Grenada to define for herself what independence means.
What has happened here this morning has made me feel confident to face the future with fortitude, strength, and with hopefulness.
People begin to understand that our lives don't have to be so hard. Things can change,
We are all currently facing the same crisis and very similar challenges. And no one can afford to be myopic or bigoted in this fight. We have no choice but to work together.
We have heard the call, and we are determined to come out of this pandemic greater than we entered.